Senior Moments, sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Good morning and welcome to the Senior Moment Show. My name is Bruce Lee. Normally, I'm here with my co-host, Sid Roeder, but she is out today, so I'm going to be flying solo. But I have a great guest and a good friend here with me today. She has been on the show before. She is our Medicare specialist with the Empowering Seniors Group, and her name is Tracy Ferris. So welcome, Tracy.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Really glad to have you, and we're going to talk about some Medicare things, and we have a kind of a secret surprise at the end that will be kind of fun to talk about. So if you stick with us the whole time, then you get to learn about that. But before we jump into things, let me just talk about our sponsor, the Empowering Seniors Group, of which Tracy is a member. We thank her for that membership. The group was put together to help put the show in the air, and that purpose is to help people understand what services are available to them. We're grateful for the group. If you'd like to check them out, you can see more information on the web at empoweringseniors.info. If you'd like to send us some information about the show or comment on the show or give us a suggestion on what we should do or a guest that we should have, you can email us at empoweringseniorscv@gmail.com, and we always love to hear from you. So if you want to call us, you can call us at 435-512-6406, and that number actually also takes a text, and so you could text us as well. Well, let's jump into our show today. Again, my good friend Tracy Ferris, who I've known for I don't know how many years now, probably
it's been a lot.
Yeah, 15.
Probably pretty close to that.
15 years-ish. She was actually, I first met Tracy when she was a coach of my daughter's volleyball team, and I was sitting in the room where she was telling about all the things that needed to happen with those girls, and I thought, wow, this girl knows what she's doing, and I liked her right out of the gate. And so, but she is a Medicare specialist with Quality First Insurance. So let's maybe start there. You can tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved with Medicare, and maybe a little bit about Quality First.
Yeah, thank you. So I do love volleyball very much. I have retired from coaching, but it was a great span of time in my life. So on to my other job, which is Medicare. I have been in the business for about 12 years, and the thing I love the most about Medicare is that it is a really confusing time for seniors, and I love being that person that they trust and that they want to come to just help navigate all the complexities of Medicare. There's some rules with it that can get complicated. There's penalties if you don't do it right. So it's just it's a very rewarding job for me, because I think it's a confusing time for people that are turning 65.
Yeah. How much preparation did you have to do to get involved with this? I'm just curious.
So there is a lot of trainings. You have to get appointed with companies. That requires, some time and paperwork. But then your trainings are every year. You have to retrain and recertify every single year, which is literally hours of time before the open enrollment period starts in October.
Okay. Well, let's kind of jump into, where do we start? I want to start with what it looks like for a person that is they're approaching Medicare age. It's one of those things you probably don't think a whole lot about until it's around the corner and you start to think about, what's this going to look like for me? And then as you hit a certain age, all of a sudden, all your good friends all through the country want to send you information about what you should do, right?
Yes, it is so great. It's so great to get those phone calls and those flyers in the mail. So about 6 months before you turn 65, just be prepared, because you are going to get flyers galore from insurance companies, and that's the reason is the insurance companies cannot contact you by phone. So they will throw out mailers like crazy to try to, convince you that you should go with them as their supplemental insurance or their Medicare Advantage, whatever they're selling you. But agents like me can buy leads of people that are turning 65 within the next 6 months. So that also leads to a whole lot of phone calls. So I just tell people that are contacting me, just don't answer numbers that you don't know on your phone. Let it go to voicemail, and that'll make your life a lot less stressful.
Yeah. From the standpoint of somebody who's going through this experience and all of a sudden someone just starts to, I guess I shouldn't say someone, everyone just starts to unload on them to try to help them, choose our company or choose this company. This is what's different. This is why we're better. From the standpoint of someone working with somebody like you, Tracy, what is there an additional cost to that? What's the difference between them picking up the flyer and calling some national company versus working with somebody here locally like you? Does it cost them more? Can they save more? What does that look like?
That is such a great question. And no, it does not cost them anything more, whether they call somebody on the phone and sign up that way or they do a personal, visit with me. So with that being said, I know people that age love to have a personal person that they can contact. They can stop into my office. They can say, hey, I've got a problem. And that is just very comforting to people. I prefer that. I don't want my agent or person helping me to be somebody in Texas or Florida. I prefer to be able to, come in and meet with them face to face.
Well, I'm guessing too, as people are going through that process there's probably upfront work that needs to be done, or you get signed up, you make a decision on who you're going to go with, and you make a decision, you fill out the paperwork or whatever needs to be done. But as you're experiencing life and things happen, it's nice to be able to call somebody. And can people call you at any time? Do you often get phone calls like mid-year out of open enrollment for things like that?
Absolutely. In fact, just yesterday, actually on Monday of this week, I had a client come in. His wife is trying to get on long-term disability, and the disability company is requiring a bunch of paperwork that's insurance related, medical claims, EOBs, that kind of thing. And he came to me and just was overwhelmed. He's like, we can provide this stuff, but I don't know how to do that. And I was able to help him in a day and get it all sent off and faxed for him, and he was just very appreciative. So absolutely.
Yeah, I know anytime, we're not to Medicare yet ourselves, but anytime we deal with our own insurance company or anything like that, it's always like, oh my gosh, how many bills am I going to get, and how do I pay this, and who do I talk to, and it's overwhelming. Okay, listeners, now's the time to grab a pencil and a piece of paper. We'll ask for this information a few times, but Tracy, why don't you tell us how people can get in touch with you?
Yeah, so my phone number is 435-752-0101.
Awesome. And we'll get more information about Quality First and Tracy here in just a minute. We're coming up on our first break. This is the Senior Moment Show, and we'll be right back.
This is Brian Erickson for the Sunshine Minute. Each day, our nurses, CNAs, cooks and servers, housekeepers, laundry staff, music, recreation therapy teams, office staff, receptionists, and many more arrive around the clock. These heroes show up ready and willing to serve and protect our residents and clients. We are so grateful to our dedicated team. On behalf of the Board of Sunshine Terrace Foundation and our community, thank you to all of our employees for keeping us safe. We bring more to life together.
Did you know 10,000 baby boomers qualify for Medicare every day? Did you know that you'll start to get swamped with mail about Medicare 6 months before your 65th birthday? Did you also know it doesn't cost anything to use an insurance agent to help you navigate through all those offers? Hi, I'm Tracy Ferris with Quality First Insurance. Let me help you understand all the offers you're receiving and find the plan that fits best for your situation. Call me today at 435-752-0101.
Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram offers free delivery service 5 days a week, Monday through Friday throughout the Valley. Just stay home and they will deliver to you. With 25 different suppliers, they won't have the shortage that others might have. Also, with compounding and many other services, they will be able to serve all your needs. In order to stay safe and help slow the spread, please call Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram at 245-DRUG, and they will take care of you.
This is Mark Thurston from White Pine Funeral Services. On behalf of all of us here at White Pine, we want to thank the community of Cache Valley for your support this past year. Thank you for selecting us as a silver winner for the Best of Northern Utah. We look forward to many more years of working with you here in our community. We know you have a choice, and we hope you will consider White Pine Funeral Services. If you have questions about cremation, funerals, or planning ahead, please contact us or visit whitepinefunerals.com.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
You have a lot of options when it comes to buying or selling a home. Do you list it online, sell it yourself, or do you have a realtor help? It's a major financial and emotional decision. A realtor is the liaison between buyers and sellers and really helps you navigate complex contracts, deadlines, and disclosures.
Hi, this is Sid Roeder with Achievement Realty.
I work for you to get the best outcome for your situation. Let me earn your trust with a free consultation and a free market analysis. Call me today at 512-6406. Then list it, sell it, and move on.
Welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. If you're just joining us today, we are visiting with Tracy Ferris. Tracy Ferris, let me get that right. I don't want to get that wrong on the air, Tracy, so forgive me. She's a Medicare specialist with Quality First Insurance. That's a company that's here in North Logan by Schaefer House Bakery. Right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah,
that's
I know
correct.
my locations in
Yes.
North Logan.
As soon as I say the bakery, everybody
That's my
knows.
people out there, you know. So, yeah. Okay, well, we were talking at the break a little bit about something that a lot of people ask about. I mean, there's so many different questions and so many different things we could talk about when it comes to Medicare, so many challenges. But one of the questions is if a married couple who are not the same age are looking at retirement, how does that work with insurance?
Yeah, and it's a great question because I have come to realize over the years that health insurance is probably one of the number one reasons that people don't retire or put it off because they're uncertain about the cost and how they're going to afford that, that kind of thing. So what I like to do is visit with people about 6 months before they're going to retire. If one of them is already going to be 65, and that usually is the scenario, that's easy. We move them to Medicare and we get that taken care of. But the big question is, what do we do with the person who isn't 65? So I also handle individual health insurance. They can choose COBRA if they're on a group plan, but that's really expensive because it's full price. Not saying that you won't have to pay that, but a lot of times as people retire, their income goes down. And if their income goes down, they maybe qualify for some government subsidies that make that really, really inexpensive.
You know, I'll just jump in there for a second because sometimes people confuse income and savings. And, you know, you hear oftentimes politicians talk about this, but income is what's coming in this year, right? So it doesn't matter if you have a bunch of money in the bank, that's not your income. So if someone's retiring and their job income is going to stop, that may make their spouse eligible for an insurance plan. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And that actually happens quite a bit where people have a savings that they're going to live off of for 1 or 2 years. I just signed up a gentleman like that. His wife is already 65. His income, he said, for this year will only be $20,000 because they've got money in their savings that they're planning to live off of. So we were able to get him on a plan that was really inexpensive and had great benefits.
So in that income, then, would that include all passive income, like income from investments or maybe rental income? However income comes in is going to be considered their income, right?
So the thing I like to tell people, just to keep it really, really clear, is if you have to claim it on your taxes as income, then we will include it in your income accounting for the year.
So do you often see people that come in then that are in that situation where they have delayed retirement or get to the other side of it and they ended up delaying their retirement and they didn't need to?
Yeah, that's happened some, but thankfully most people are a little more proactive and, you know, they might have delayed it by a year and they're like, oh, I could have retired last year had I known this. But for the most part, people are pretty proactive with it and they come in ahead of saying, I want to retire in 6 months. What is that going to look like?
So a family or a couple who is approaching that, whether the wife is older or the husband is older, the person that's younger is probably going to be, they're looking at the new plan. Are the new plans pretty good? I mean, do they cover a lot, or is it like, yeah, after your $20,000 deductible, then, we'll pay up to 50% of the first $100?
Yeah, so it's not that bad. There are some really good plans. And again, that is income driven. So there's a couple of things that happen on income. One, it can reduce the premium, but two, it can also make your copays, your deductible, your max out of pocket better. So that gentleman that I was referring to, where their income was going to be $20,000, he's going to pay about $50 a month, and his deductible is $0, and his max out of pocket is $2,000. So it's just phenomenal. He's thrilled. Granted, he's turning 65 in October, so he won't get the benefit for long, but that was way better than a high deductible for $750 a month.
Right. And what about choosing your doctor and things like that? I assume that varies from plan to plan, but what does it generally look like for people as they're coming into that window and choosing that type of a plan? Yeah,
so as an independent agent, we look at that. We look to make sure that if they have a doctor that's really, really important to them, or doctors, we will make sure that whatever plan we put them on is in network with that plan. So it is an important part of the puzzle, and the conversation needs to definitely include that.
So it sounds like there's multiple plans they can choose from.
Absolutely.
So there's lots of different options they get to pick based on, so that's one of the things that you would want to sit down and counsel with them about?
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to just pick a plan and say, here you go, see you next year, and hopefully it works out for you. It's let's talk about your medications, let's talk about what doctors are important to keep in network, and what can you afford if it was catastrophic. If you had a major surgery, what max out of pocket feels comfortable to you, that kind of thing. So lots to talk about.
Is that the kind of thing, would you have like a questionnaire form that they'd fill out or something like that? Or is that all handled in an interview with you as you sit down and kind of go through the different things that they need to be considering? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I prefer, especially now with COVID kind of being on the back burner a little bit, I do prefer at least the first time to meet with people face to face. Some of my clients are down south or even into Idaho, and that's not a possibility. So we can still cover all of that on the phone. But yes, I don't have a formal questionnaire, but I absolutely ask those questions every time.
Okay, so if you're listening and you're thinking, maybe you're past that age and you have questions about what you're doing, or you're coming up on that age, which I don't know, when would that be? 55, 60, 65, 64? When do people need to talk to you?
I mean, 64 and a half if they're just, moving right to Medicare at 65, but it would depend if they're retiring about 6 months before they retire.
Okay, we'll come back and talk more about that after the break. We're coming up on it, but go ahead and share your contact information again so that people can call you if they have questions.
Yeah, so my name is Tracy Ferris. I am at Quality First Insurance, and our phone number there is 435-752-0101.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy. This is the Senior Moment Show, sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group. We're about to head out to our next break. When we come back, we'll talk more with Tracy about Medicare strategies and retirement and all kinds of stuff that hopefully will help you as you're coming to this window. See you in a minute.
When it comes to successful aging, eating well matters. Staying physically active matters. Getting socially engaged matters. Living alone, aging alone, it's harder to consistently do that. Hi, this is Chris Grohl with Pioneer Valley Lodge, where we make it easier to do those things every day. Our mission at Pioneer Valley Lodge in North Logan is to help seniors live better, age more gracefully, and stay independent for as long as possible. Pioneer Valley Lodge, an independent living community for seniors.
Hi, this is Bruce with Comfort Care. One of the ways we help loved ones stay in their home is by assisting with daily tasks. These may include bathing, meal preparation, medication reminders, and housekeeping. We even help with shopping, transportation, and errands. Most of all, we offer a trusted level of care. Let us help you live your best life possible with Comfort Care. This is Bruce, and you can call me at 754-7676. Comfort Care, 754-7676.
Oh, it seems like yesterday I was playing with my kids on the playground.
Seems like yesterday I was building a treehouse in the backyard.
Time goes by too fast, but there is something you can do to ensure you're taken care of down the road. I'm Tracy Ferris with Quality First Insurance. A long-term care insurance policy is something we all need as we get older. If you wait until you need it, you're too late. Let me help you understand the options and benefits of long-term care insurance. Call me today, 435-752-0101.
Whether you have a small business, large corporation, or sole proprietorship, remember Cook Martin Polson has provided quality accounting services since 1977. At Cook Martin Polson, they believe you've earned it, and they're going to help you keep it. Take a minute right now to call 750-5566. That's 750-5566 to set up your tax appointment and let Cook Martin Polson show you how to keep the money you have earned.
This is Jared Ripplinger with Cook Martin Polson. You've worked hard for your money. Let us help you keep it.
If you're retired or plan to retire soon, will you outlive your money or will your money outlive you? If you don't know the answer, I can help. Hi, I'm Patty Bartholomew, a financial consultant with Parsonex Securities. If you have questions about your financial plan or just need a second opinion, call me today at 435-227-5556.
Investments are not FDIC insured, nor are they deposits of or guaranteed by a bank or any other entity, so they may lose value. Investors should carefully consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the funds. This and other important information is contained in each fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, which can be obtained from a financial professional and should be read carefully before investing. Securities offered through Parsonex Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC, 8310 South Valley Highway, Suite 110, Inglewood, Colorado, 80112-303-662-8700.
Welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. If you are just joining us today, we're talking with Tracy Ferris. She's a Medicare specialist with Quality First Insurance. We've been kind of focusing on retirement strategies and how to think about how to use Medicare best and plan for your retirement, especially if your situation is, one spouse is older than the other spouse, and so they're going to hit 65 either. I guess it could be close to the same time as their spouse or, significantly different. What happens with the remaining spouse and how do you manage that for retirement? We're just talking at the break a little bit about, whether or not there's these financial questions and planning for retirement, they can be daunting.
Yes.
Do you have a group of people that you work with that you kind of trust, I guess, because you can't give accounting advice and things like that. Right? How does that work?
Yeah. So I don't give accounting advice, but I know enough to lead and guide them. And that has just happened, throughout my years of experience. So I never say this is what you should do, but I say if you did XYZ, this is how it would be beneficial, or if you did ABC, this is how it would be beneficial. So yes, I absolutely have a team of people that I have behind me that I can call anytime with questions, and that's really, really nice and reassuring so that I make sure I'm always giving the correct answers.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, from the standpoint of just being inundated with a bunch of information and not knowing what to do, and also from the standpoint of not wanting to be taken to the cleaners and making sure that the decisions that you're making maximize the use of your financial resources. I think it's really important to understand that somebody like Tracy, that type of resource in your corner, that doesn't really cost you anything. It's not going to be any different to use somebody like that than it would be if you just called up the national company who's got whatever whiz-bang flyer that they've sent. Other than you're probably going to be able to have phone calls with Tracy anytime, right? I mean, anytime throughout the year something comes up, she's not going to send you a bill. It's all part of the service that's offered.
That is correct.
Yeah, I think that's just a great thing. Well, we're going to come back. Be ready with your pen and paper if you're interested in talking to her, because that no cost. That's why we do what we do with this radio show, to help people understand that these options are available and it's not going to cost them anything. They can have some confidence there. But I wanted to pivot because you got some other stuff going on that we want to talk about. Tell us about that.
So I've got myself this really awesome business partner, and we are opening the Soulful Cafe in Richmond, Utah. It's diagonally across from Maverick there at the stoplight. on Main Street. So very excited.
The Soulful Cafe. Is it going to be music or is it just good food?
Well, it's really good food, but soulful. So we are calling it a wellness cafe. And the reason that we're calling it that is because my business partner and myself are very, very passionate about mental wellness. And so the names of our foods are things like I Am Awesome Smoothie, I Am Strong Acai Bowl, things like that. So just really positive things. And we chose that intentionally because we believe that we do a lot of negative self-talk that brings ourselves down, and we want people to walk in our doors and just feel like they are awesome, because they are.
It's not just about the palate.
No, although the food is really fresh. Almost everything that we will make will be homemade there, with very few exceptions, and very fresh food. We have if whatever your palate is, we can accommodate you. If that's gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, there will be meals and options that you can choose.
What if you like to double down on meat?
Well, we could double down on meat too if you wanted. Not a problem.
So you're going to be in Richmond?
We are going to be in Richmond, yes. And I have a really fun story that I'll share quick about the building. So this building is over 100 years old, and it has had many, many different businesses in it, one of which was a laundromat. Well, it wasn't until I went to a funeral in January of my great uncle, and at that funeral, they mentioned that Grandma and Grandpa, great-grandma and Grandpa, had owned a laundromat, which I knew because I had visited it as a child and I remembered. But they lived in Preston, so in my child's mind, I always thought that that was in Preston. Well, at the funeral, they mentioned that it was in Richmond. And I had to hurry and call my dad and say, where in Richmond? And he's like, in that building across from Maverick. So my great-grandparents used to own that building, and they ran a laundromat out of it. Wow. So I feel like it has come full circle. It was meant to be.
This is destiny.
It totally is, we didn't know that going in, but what an exciting story.
When are you opening?
Mid-May, hopefully.
Mid-May, hopefully.
Yes.
Okay, and you're going to have some promotional stuff out there.
Absolutely.
So people know to come down there and try out some good food and good vibes, I guess, right?
Oh, totally good vibes, yes.
All right, great. All right, before we go, phone number. People that want to get in contact with you about Medicare or have a recipe for the Soulful Cafe. What's the number?
I would love either. It is 435-752-0101.
435-752-0101. That is the number for Quality First. That's where Tracy Ferris is. Call her. She can do a lot of good for you if that's your situation. This has been the Senior Moment Show. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.